Hey guys, the boss. Another one of my Columbia House purchases that came, back in '85. Um, I had to get the 40th anniversary reissue. I just, now, is it anything exciting? Is it anything? It, same like the 90125. The inner groove distortion is gone, right, on the inner tracks. It's a 180 gram pressing. Is it anything super exciting as far as sonically? Yeah, it's a typical 1980s production. You know, they've got a lot of that whole phasing or flanging thing on the snare drums and Max Weinberg's snare and all that stuff. Everybody knows the story that if you watch the Little Steven documentary on HBO, it's great. It's just awesome, awesome, awesome. And as the old story goes, he's on this album and he's not. He's in a couple. I think he's in the Glory Days video, if I remember right. And for those of us that grew up in the '80s, this was all over. Well, in Canada we had Much Music, right? And I guess down here it's MTV. But same thing, radio airplay. I never went to the '84 tour at the CNE Grandstand. I had friends of mine in high school who did. I did see Springsteen live finally in 2007. And I think Arcade Fire opened, and he actually came out on set. Or actually, I didn't stay for the whole show because I dragged my then 6.5-year-old son with me because none of my neighbors would go. I had tickets. I was going to give one of the tickets for free. And it's what happens when you live in hillbilly heaven, dude. Trust me. So yeah, I took my 6.5-year-old kid who'd already been to a concert with me at the Tragically Hip. That was his first show. He doesn't remember any of it, which I don't blame him. But I got to see Springsteen with the original E Street Band when everybody was back then still alive and kicking, right? I think I just stole a Simple Minds quote, but anyways, a song. But anyway, that was an awesome show for what I was able to see of it. Now, I couldn't stay for the whole thing because my kids started screaming and all this stuff near the end, so I got to look up the set list for that show, but I was really, really hoping he'd play Rosalita, which I'm going to get to in a minute. I'm going to pause the video now, and we'll get to Rosalita and the first album. Back in a second. So yeah, I bought Greetings and Innocent in the E Street Shuffle when they came out on MoFi SACDs. Hopefully you guys can see that. I love Springsteen. I love his old stuff. For me, the first 3 albums were his best, right? I consider it like a trilogy. This is good. This is great. And then you got Born to Run, right? Which I think is going to be coming out soon on SACD. Now, sonically, none of these albums were anything to write home about. In fact, I prefer the sound quality of these than I do Born to Run, because I think Born to Run, they were trying to do the whole Phil Spector wall of sound bullshit, which I fucking hated, right? But yeah, I mean, the tracks on here, Blinded by the Light, Growing Up, which Bowie did an awesome cover of, which is on the Sound and Vision box set. Spirits in the Night, It's Hard to Be a Saint in the City, which is another Springsteen track that Bowie covered, which is on that same Sound and Vision box set. And then this one's got my favorite. Rosalita is still my favorite Bruce Springsteen track of all time, right? There's a live Blu-ray that I bought back in 2008, I think it was. It wasn't the same tour that I saw. I think it was the tour after. It was in London and in England there somewhere. And there's a great version of Rosalita on there. But yeah, this is still my favorite track. I mean, anytime I used to hear it on the radio, I just fucking crank it. It's like Springsteen has Rosalita, Billy Joel has scenes from an Italian restaurant, stuff like that. Elton John has Funeral for a Friend. These long epic songs that these, guys were known for their 3-minute hits and all that stuff. When they come up with a 10-minute thing, always knocks them out of the park. And yeah, I mean, I wouldn't buy that 45 RPM one step of these fucking things. Like that's, you got more money than brains, man. Go for it. Look, the Van Halen reissues. You know, I have the Sammy Hagar years, right? Sounds awesome, right? Now they're slowly releasing, but I'm not a. I like Van Halen. I never saw them live with Dave or with Sammy. Regret it now. Obviously, Eddie's gone, but yeah, these sound really good. Yeah. Um, Born in the USA is basically, it is what it is. If you've got the original LPs, you're not missing anything here. Sonically, there's nothing really, exciting. The one thing I will say is the vocals are spread all over the fucking place. I really hope one day they do a dry remix of this and get rid of all that shit. The phasey drums, the vocals all fucking, you know, trebled out and fucking spread along. Instead of being anchored in the middle, it's spread out between the left and right speakers. And, you know, that's my one big gripe with this album. But if you've got the original pressing, you know, you don't need this unless you want it for all the souvenir stuff inside. I mean, the original was never a gatefold, right? And so this is kind of cool, right? They give you all these. You saw the red vinyl. There's an insert. They give you that's like an LP sized frame thingy, you know. And what else? The booklet here. You never got this in the original LP, or else. So yeah, it's got a whole history of the album, how everything came together, you know, all kinds of, you know, tour program stuff. Very cool. Very cool. Oops. And yeah, guys, it's another short rambling video because quite honestly on this channel I don't have anything else to review. As you guys see, I already sold the BAT preamp back to TMR. They gave me a good price for it. I'm not going to disclose what it was so that, you know, they'll be able to sell it. And, you know, I'm running the KT170s now, using the Onkyo as a preamp. I've got a pair of the Ernie all silver Argent Pures with Leo's monoblock modules inside. And right now I've got some issues with the Klipsch's, so I kind of had to put the original crossovers back in. And I'm basically working on a tri-wireable or tri-ampable 3 separate crossovers with all those, you know, uber expensive Mundorf parts that I bought last year. And plan is, because the tubes are so fat, it kind of rolls off the treble. So when I did the review of these, I used the Argent Pures, right? No treble roll off, no nothing, nice bass definition, everybody's happy. You don't get the big thick mid-range that you get with the tubes, but I've said that umpteen times before. So yeah, equipment-wise, not really much for me to talk about. Yeah, I'm going to start doing more LP reviews. I know some people have been asking me about what kind of music I got in my record collection, my SACD collection, my CD collection, you know. So I might, you know, do like a trip through the years kind of thing and work on some other stuff. But yeah, I'm not going to be doing any more equipment reviews, or, you know, I might do some more DIY type stuff, you know. But yeah, guys, you know, thanks again for watching, and I'll do some more music reviews going forward, you know. Probably going to be another talking head like everybody else, but hopefully my different spin on things you guys appreciate. All right, thanks again, and bye for now.